everyone, welcome to my channel, Simply Outdoors with Shauna. Today we're just in my backyard. We had a lot of snow that fell overnight, so I'm just going to set up my hot tent because I wanted to try out my wood stove, make sure everything's working properly before I go out into the woods. So I just cleared an area out here where my tent will sit. Yeah, so we're gonna set up a tent, show you my wood stove I made, cook up some Irish stew. Will be a good day, so join me. Yeah, so this dome tent was given to me from a friend. They were actually tossing it out, so I figured perfect, I can use it for a winter hot tent. So it's a 2-man dome tent, and it only has three poles, so it sets up really easy. Watch out, Belle. Charlie, get off. Get off, Char. Charlie and Bella, you're making it very difficult. Eh? Can you move your bum? Just like that, simple 3 poles. You just set up. Good size in there too. Yeah, it's good size in the tent. I got my hole here that I've cut for my wood stove. Good ventilation. 3 little areas that have ventilation, which is good, so you don't get condensation in the tent. Just gonna put the fly on top. All right, I'm going to show you my little setup that I have. So this is a wood stove that I made. I made this wood stove out of a metal minnow can. So yeah, I wanted something that was small, compact. So I saw this on Kijiji for $10, this minnow bucket. So I said, I can do something with that. So I cut a hole, and I got some piping. It's just ductwork, dryer ductwork, heating ductwork that I picked up. So I made a hole, fit that in, and it works really good. And then I got an extension, and I'll show you when I put that on. So yeah, I'm just gonna set up the area where I set the wood stove. So first of all, I just put a towel down on the bottom. Absorbs the heat. Then I have a couple of, lasagna baking dishes that I've cut to make the hole for the the venting. And then I just have a cookie sheet that I have the wood stove on. One that goes on the inside. And then this one goes on the outside. And then the two of them, I use this good clamp to clamp the two of them together. There we go. Now we're ready to put the pipe on. Yeah, so now we just put the pipe on. All right, once you fit the pipe in, good and snug, then you just get a stick with a Y end to prop it up. And there we go. Just takes a few minutes to get the stove set where you need to have it set. Once the pipe's in there. Looks pretty good there. Check the outside. Good. And then I just have this extra lasagna pan that I made that just goes around the back. Just sits in there. Right, so the wood stove's all set up. The venting's out the tent. Now I just want to show you what I have done to be able to do cooking on the wood stove. So I made a little hole here and put a tin can so the heat can come up through here. And so I put almost like a little hot plate that I put on top. So that just sits on top. It's for if I want to boil water or cook inside, I have that option. So I'll just show you how this works. So yeah, so it's just like a little hot plate that sits on top. And when I don't have anything cooking, I just put that there, and the heat still stays inside the wood stove. So that's just an added little thing I put on to be able to cook inside my tent. All right, so now I'm going to get everything set up because I'm going to stay overnight. I'm going to sleep in the tent tonight and see if it keeps me warm all night. It's about -10 right now, and it's going to go down to -15 tonight. So I want to see if this little wood stove keeps me warm overnight. So I'm just going to get everything set up, my sleeping bag, my thermarest, everything. So stay tuned. So yeah, I have a sled that I pull behind me in the winter to bring everything that I need out with me. Because in the wintertime, you need a few more little things to make things comfortable when you're in the woods. So I have a sled that also I made. Took it from the kids. They had a little sled that they weren't using, so I put some carabiners on it and made something that I can pull behind me to bring the wood stove, bring extra little things to make it comfortable. Yeah, so I have my thermarest. Well, first off, I put down my thermal liner on the bottom just to keep condensation, moisture from going onto my sleeping pad. And then I have my thermarest that I bring with me. You know, I like going in the woods. I like being out in the outdoors, but then I also like to be comfortable. I always like to bring my thermarest. It gives you a better sleep. You have a more comfortable sleep and it's more enjoyable than just sleeping on the cold ground. So this thermarest, I use it for winter camping and summer camping. It works perfectly. With my thermal liner underneath, it works really well. Then I have a blanket that I like to bring with me a lot in the wintertime. It's really heavy, a heavy blanket. It's almost like a hospital blanket. So I put that over top of my thermarest just to add an extra little layer on top. Then I have my Summit 250 Mountain Warehouse sleeping bag. It's rated for, the low is rated for -17. So you can go to -10 with this sleeping bag and it's really comfortable. It's a mummy style, so it works really well. I like a little extra in there. You know, I like to be comfortable, so this is a little wool blanket I picked up for $5. It's really nice to add a little extra in the inside of your sleeping bag. The warmth in there. Okay, like I said, today I'm gonna make an Irish stew. So I'm just gonna get the charcoal going because I'm gonna do the stew in my version of my Dutch oven and do it on charcoal. So I'm just gonna fill up my my charcoal chimney. I'm not gonna fill it up all the way, just halfway, because I'm actually going to be cooking the stew for a couple hours on the charcoal. So I'll start another chimney later on. So for the first batch, I'm just doing half of the chimney full. And then I have my white birch bark. Set your chimney on top. And again, it'll smoke for a little bit till the charcoal lights up. Okay, while I'm waiting for the charcoal to take light, I'm going to set up my little stove that I'm going to cook the stew on. I picked up this little chair. It's nice and light backpacking chair that I picked up at my trusty Salvation Army for $3. You just unfold it and then clip this together at the bottom. It's a really strong chair once it's set up. There we go. Just clips in there. Like, these straps are good and strong. It's a good sturdy chair. Good little backpacking chair. It's awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna set up my little stove. It's again, it's a stove that I can use for charcoal and firewood, like all my little stoves that I make. So I'll show you how this sets up. It's got a little base to the bottom. Everything out here. You have the 4 feet here that you set up. Set it up just over here so I can still come in and out. Then you have the base. Then this little rack hooks on here. And these just go on, these little rods, to make it a little extra sturdy. There. And then I have a rack. This rack I can put on if I want to grill anything, if I want to cook anything. So won't be needing the rack today because I'm going to put the charcoal right on here and the pot's going to go right on top. Okay, everyone, charcoal's ready to go on. I'll just put it all on here. We're going to set the pot right on top to get it heated up. Pot right on there. So we got some stewing beef. Woohoo! 3 potatoes. Some carrots. And this is an official Irish stew mixture with all the spices, beans, everything. So a traditional Irish stew mixture and an onion. So first off, I'm gonna get the stewing beef in there. Get that cooking. Put a little bit of water in with the meat. Ooh, good and hot. Stir that up. Cut the onion up. Add the onion to the meat. add the onions in. Some salt and pepper. While I'm waiting for the meat to brown up, I'm going to get the potatoes ready and the carrots. I think 2 potatoes looks pretty good. Carrots. I think I may slice the carrots long ways. See how I like that. Do I want them like this? Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the carrots long ways. Yeah, the meat's browning up really good. You see through the steam. I'm gonna have to put some more charcoal in the chimney and get it ready for the next batch that will have to go on. Because this stew is gonna take a couple hours to simmer and to cook up, so you'll need another batch of charcoal ready to go. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Okay guys, got the dogs out here. They smell the beef cooking. So yeah, on this package for the Irish beef stew, it says to add 4 cups of water and 2 tablespoons of oil with your potatoes, carrots, and all of this package. So I have my little water jugs that I pre-measured what fits in here. 4 cups fits in one of these. So I have 2 of them. So I'm just going to put my 2 tablespoons of oil in. And that should be good. I'm gonna add my, would you like a carrot here? Got it. Char. Carrot. All right. I'm gonna add my potatoes and carrots right in. So in this is 4. Hopefully it'll all fit in this pot. So there's 4 cups. Stir that all in. All right. Smells good. All right, so we'll add this package in. Looks like it has chili peppers, beans, rice, a real Irish stew. So we'll add that. That's with the 4 cups of water so far. So I'm gonna let that simmer just with the 4 cups in right now. And then we'll add as we go. Making a real Irish stew, I feel that you either need to have a Guinness beer or a stout beer added to your stew. So this package that I have says to add a 1/2 cup of a stout beer. So this one is Whitewater Brewing Company, and it's called a Midnight Stout. So yeah, we're gonna add that stout to this stew. This is a half a cup, so I guess half the can. Ooh, nice dark beer. Should be good. All right, give that a stir. Wow, smelling very good. All those spices in there. In that package, it has the thickening mixture and everything right in that package. All right, we'll cover that up. I'm gonna check on the other coals that I have going and add that to the rack so it brings it to a boil. Watch out, Char. Move. Char. Should be good. So, while I'm waiting for the stew to simmer, I'm going to get the wood stove started in the tent. All right, doesn't take long for the wood stove to get going good. So yeah, I've processed some wood over the last few months for the size of my wood stove, so I could have some already made up. So I will take some of the processed wood that I have into the woods with me so I can get the tent warmed up and the wood stove going, and then I can process more in the woods. So it doesn't take long to get the stove up and going good and getting hot. So I'm just gonna stoke it up here. Just gonna stoke it good so I can get the tent warmed up. You can fit quite a few pieces in here when they're cut the right size. Get in there. Bring some wood in, get everything set up for tonight. Let's see if that's going on. I might need to leave it open just a little bit for a draft. I'll leave the door open for a few minutes. Let it get going. Well, the wood stove's going good. It's warming up in the tent really good. Nice and toasty. And the stew is boiling nice. The charcoal will die down soon and then it will just go to a simmer. So I'm gonna try this stout beer out, Midnight Stout. I'm not used to drinking stout beers, but can't let this half a beer go to waste, so we're gonna try it. It seems really thick. Woo! Strong. It's like honey and molasses, kind of. Not my favorite, but I have a couple more sips and then I might change to a different kind. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna check that in another 15 minutes. See how the potatoes and carrots are cooking. So stay tuned. So I now want the stew to simmer and not really boil. So I'm just gonna set my cast iron frying pan on the coals and put the pot on top. So now it'll just simmer nice with the cast iron underneath it. Okay everyone, it's been a good hour that the stew has been simmering, and it's good and done, nice and thick. I didn't need to add any more water throughout the cooking time, so whew, smells delicious. Just want to show you here, if you can see it over the steam. Good, thick and hearty. Just gonna serve a bowl up and taste it, see how it tastes. Wow, looks delicious. There we go. I got some good Italian homemade bread. And you can't have Irish stew without a good Irish beer. This is a Smith Wicks Red Ale. That's the French side. Here we go to the English side. A Smith Wicks Premium Red Ale. It's an Irish beer. Some of this stew, see how it tastes. Delicious. Wow. All the flavors, the beer, good flavor in that. Well, thanks for coming along with me while we cooked up the stew. In a little bit, we're going to be in the tent, and we're going to stay overnight in the tent and see if the wood stove keeps us warm. So stay tuned. We'll see you in a little bit. Hi everyone, welcome back. We're just here in the tent getting ready to settle down for the night. It's pretty toasty in here. It's -10 outside, and my thermometer says that it is +9 in the tent, so that's pretty good. It's pretty warm. It's livable when you're in your sleeping bag and your wool blanket. So it makes a big difference having the wood stove and a little hot tent. So I got the dogs out here with me. Bella's laying here, all snuggled in, and Charlie is trying to make himself comfortable. Okay, Charlie. Let's put some more wood on. Some of the wood that I do have is still a little wet. You can hear it sizzling a little bit, but once you got a good bed of coals, it goes pretty good. Got my water on. I'm gonna have a cup of tea. Yeah, so I'm just in a pair of pajama pants and a pair of socks and a hoodie, so I'm pretty comfortable considering that it's -12 out now. And it's supposed to go down to -15, so we'll see if it keeps me warm. For the night, I think it will do pretty good. When you have good dry wood, it will put out the heat pretty good if the wood's dry. Okay, I got a good David's tea. It is called Forever Nuts. Gonna have a nice cup of tea and a little bit of chocolate. I love this one. This one's my favorite. That one's a good piece that will last for a few hours throughout the night. Keep me warm. Water should be good and hot now. Oh yeah. Just gonna sit here and enjoy my tea and watch a little bit of the fire, then probably doze off. Got an early morning. I have to work in the morning, so it'll be pretty early, 5:30 in the morning. So it's now around 8 o'clock, so I'm just gonna relax for a little bit, enjoy the wood stove. So thanks for coming along with me. Thanks for tuning in. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and hit the ringtone so you know my next videos that are coming up. Thanks for coming along. Cheers. Hi everyone. Well, it's the next day after I slept in the tent. I just got back from work, so I didn't have time to shoot. The video in the morning. I was busy getting ready for work, so I'm shooting it after work, just to give you a little review on how my night went. So the night went pretty good. I wasn't cold by all means, but I think it went down to at least minus 17, probably around 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So I woke up frequently to put wood in the stove. Probably every hour I would put 2-3 pieces of wood about this size. So about every hour this lasted. It still had plenty of heat coming from it because I had all the coals down on the bottom, so I still could have went more than an hour, but to keep it a nice temperature, I would stoke the wood stove every hour. So I had a good sleep, just a off and on sleep. I do find though that I'm going to, on the top screen that air can flow through, I'm going to make a material that I can Velcro on the inside to prevent from so much heat going up through the top. So that's my plan, is to make something like that. For the wood stove worked amazing. It put off a good heat for me in my tent. So I don't need to do anything with the wood stove. I made all the modifications that I need for that. Just for the tent, I'll make a few modifications for up top. I feel the heat is just going right up through the top, through the screen. So I will make something for the next time, and I'll show you what I did. It's going to be like a Velcro that's going to go on there. So yeah, I just wanted to give you a little review on how my night went in the tent. I really enjoyed it. The dogs didn't stay out with me the whole night. I put them in after I was done finishing my tea. I put them inside and let them have a cozy sleep in bed with my spouse. So, well, thank you very much for coming along with me on this little adventure in my backyard. Next time we'll be out in the woods, and we'll cook up something really good. So thanks again. Catch you on the next one.